I am Batman. Average Sniper.
What's up, guys? Average Sniper here, and welcome to another Battlefield 1 video. I have been at work incredibly busy for the past couple weeks, so I haven't had a chance to upload as much as I want to, and I apologize to you guys for that. I did upload a video a few days ago explaining how busy I was, but in case you didn't see that, I just wanted to reiterate it. I am not as busy this week, hopefully, and should have more time to edit and upload more videos. So, here we go. In this video, I want to talk about what you guys consider to be the best first-person shooter out there, regardless of whether it's on PC or console. It doesn't matter to me. Now, I pretty much only play Battlefield 1 and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds right now, and I'm sure there's a lot of people out there just like me who are just really into the Battlefield series and don't play much other games. If that's the case, then just go ahead and let me know what your favorite Battlefield is and what you think the best Battlefield is and why. Honestly, from an infantry point of view, I think that Battlefield 1 is probably the best first-person shooter out there right now. And let's bring in third-person shooters into the mix too. How about a little bit of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds? That's a really good shooter too, but it's in the early release stages, and I want to use that game to compare at a later date or at a later time in this video. But for Battlefield 1, man, I cannot get enough of being infantry. It does have good vehicle gameplay, but let me give you an example of basically what I'm trying to say here. Battlefield 4 was like my favorite Battlefield before I played Battlefield 1, and it was pretty hard if you're a conquest player to survive as infantry because the vehicles were like way OP, like I could get into a tank and do so much damage, especially if I had a repair guy with me. Oh my god, it was just incredible. But the thing I like about Battlefield 1 is the infantry gameplay, man. You don't have to have a vehicle to do good in this game. And I think that's a lot of the reason why certain people are like, "Oh, Battlefield 1 is casual, Battlefield 1 is for noobs, this and that." Well, let me tell you something. Just because the game didn't focus on vehicles doesn't mean it's casual. Not at all. This game is really fun, and and it actually has quite a skill gap. I recently talked to a couple people at my job because yes, I have been being a little more social. So every time I get a chance to talk about gaming while I'm at work, I'll do it. If somebody mentions, they play video games, I'll be like, "Oh, you do? Oh, what games do you play?" This and that. And I was talking to a couple different people that are completely unrelated to each other, and both of them told me the same thing about Battlefield. When I asked them what games they played, they said, "Oh, I don't really have like a specific game that I play. I just like to play a lot of different games." And they didn't mention Call of Duty, so I guess that's a good thing. Except to say they stopped playing Call of Duty when it went all futuristic and exosuit. But when I asked them about Battlefield, when they said, "What games do you play?" And I said, "Oh, I'm pretty much into Battlefield 1 and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds." They told me, both of them, they were like, "Oh yeah, we tried Battlefield, the graphics were amazing, the gameplay looked like it was going to be really good, but I couldn't hardly get any kills in multiplayer. There was such a skill gap, and I just don't have time to spend a month just learning how to play one game." And I was thinking to myself, man, that's so crazy because people call this game casual all the time. Experienced Battlefield players, I should say, call this game casual. Maybe it is a little casual compared to the other Battlefields. Maybe that's true. But for someone who's never played Battlefield before and isn't exclusive to just playing shooters and doesn't have experience with bullet drop and bullet travel times, leading your target, and things like that, this is actually an incredibly hard game. It was easy for me to get into because I've been playing Battlefield for quite a while now. Not as long as some of you veterans out there, but I have been playing Battlefield at least over 2 years now, almost 3 years straight. And for me, it was just getting used to the difference in the bullet drop and bullet velocity from other Battlefields. Once you figure it out, it's no problem. But if you've never done that before, it can actually be pretty rough. And it surprised me that both of these guys said they didn't play Battlefield 1 because it was too hard. So I was like, I want to talk about this in a video. So that's one of the things I want to use for Battlefield 1 being the best shooter is that no, it's not a casual game. It's the only way you could consider it casual really is if you compared it to some of the other Battlefields that might have been a little harder, which was even going to be way harder for other people that were new to the Battlefield series to get into. In Battlefield 1, I think I think it's hard to get into, really. Unless you came from Call of Duty or other first-person shooters exclusively, I think this game would be hard to adjust to because it's a whole different universe of physics, and you have to understand that in order to do good. And they're always updating and changing things, so if you're not keeping up to date, that can be a problem. Look, killed that guy with the flare gun. He surprised me there. I just shot the flare gun and got him. So right now, given my limited experience, in my opinion, I think Battlefield 1 is the best first-person shooter on the market. Now, oh, there goes my phone. Now, I would like to hear some opinions from some other people about other shooters out there that are really good. I know we have Rising Storm 2 that came out, but I have not heard that people are going crazy for that game or that a lot of people, really like it or anything like that. And then we have PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And that's the second thing I want to talk about, there's a different genre of shooter coming out, and that is, it doesn't matter whether it's third or first person, it's still a shooter. Right now I'm just talking about shooters, and that is basically survival shooters, comparable to the Hunger Games, where you do not respawn. When you die, you are done with the match, you get your ranking, whatever place you came in, however many kills you got, you get your score, and then you have to find another server. So basically, when you get kills, they all have to be a streak. There's no deaths allowed in between those. Pure survival, where you are dropped into a place with 100 or so odd other players, and you have to survive. Whether it's solo or with a teammate or with multiple teammates, you guys have to survive until the end. And that is the only way you can win the game. You can still get XP, whether you win or lose, but the only way you can actually get a win on your stats is by coming in first place, by being the survivor. And I have been having so much fun with that because it gives you a certain satisfaction that you can't get out of games where you respawn, because there's no penalty for dying unless you're trying to work on your kill-death ratio. And I'll be totally honest, in Battlefield 1, I do care about my kill-death ratio, but not to the point where it greatly disappoints me if I have a game where I get 60 kills and 30 deaths. No, I probably won't be using that game on YouTube because I died so many times, but I still consider that to be a good game. I don't care how many times I died. Let's face it, this is a situation on a battlefield. The likelihood of you dying is very high. So when you have a really good game, like 20 and 0, 30 and 5, 60 and 10, 60 and 5, whatever. Those games happen. They actually happen to me. You have medics that can revive you. You have all kinds of ways to get good kill streaks in this game. It's very satisfying. That's what's satisfying, to me about Battlefield 1 is basically going on these huge kill streaks, getting clips for videos, talking about them, having a good time. It just feels good. But I have found nothing in video gaming that compares to the feeling of dropping in with 99 enemies and being the last survivor. Especially if you get like 10 or more kills, you've killed 10% of the people in that server or more if you're really good at the game and you can get a shitload of kills. And the strategy involved is crazy. Let's be honest. In shooter games where you can respawn, it really takes away from the need to have strategy, because if your plan fails, you can just respawn, try it again. It's trial and error. You can keep going at it over and over again until you finally get that clip or until you finally get it right. In fact, a lot of people comment on my videos, especially in videos where I have like really good clips or really good gameplay, and people are like, you must only exclusively play against noobs, because I never, ever get clips like that. Well, first off, no, I don't exclusively play against noobs. I just quick match or use server browser to find a match. That's dumb to think I play against noobs. Secondly, most of the people saying this probably don't have even half as much playtime in the game as I do. I have over 1,000 hours in Battlefield 1 if you add up my hours on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and the extra accounts I have that nobody even knows about. Over 1,000 hours. Most people don't even have anywhere close to 1,000 hours. So you got to understand that these clips that I get for my videos, the really good ones, where people are like, you must be playing against noobs, I might have had to try like 10 or 11 matches before something like that actually happened. So, and that's also something that's rewarding about Battlefield 1. But it is trial and error. If you play the game enough, you're going to have really good clips. If it's the only game you play and you play it exclusively, you're going to get really good at the game and have good clips. That's all it comes down to. It's not that the enemies you play against are noobs. It's just that you're good at the game, you're fast at aiming, and to the average person watching it, you're destroying everyone, so they just think, oh my god, the enemy team must be totally noobs not to see this guy. Not even taking into consideration you have 1,000 hours on the game, and you know how to flank, you know how to get behind the enemies when the rest of your team is somewhere else, and shoot the shit out of them like I'm doing right now. Okay, rant over. I went off on a little rant right there because I get sick of people saying I only play against noobs. That has nothing to do with the subject matter, but I'll go ahead and continue now. So there is nothing that compares to the feeling in a survival shooter of finishing first place, meaning you survived 99 other players, you killed players to get there, you found the good loot, you stole the loot off the players that you killed, you used your resources and strategy to win the game. Strategy is huge in survival games, and I don't like strategy games that aren't based on shooters. Like, I don't like really MMORPGs or anything like that. That's just not my type of game. I like games where you're actively shooting people, where you get into engagements and you have to rely on your gun skill and your strategy to win. And up until, Battlegrounds came out, it was basically just Battlefield and H1Z1 for me. And I never really liked H1Z1 that much because it was too arcadey, not as realistic. You have people moving too fast, jumping around with shotguns, doing crazy stuff. It was almost like a Call of Duty survival game, if you will. It was too fast paced. It was unrealistically fast paced for me. And the reason I like Battlegrounds so much is because the pace is slower and it's more like real life. So you can actually plan your strategies and not worrying about a guy jumping off a rooftop doing a 720 and shotgunning you in the face. That's never going to happen in real life. And if you want it to happen in a video game, then there's certain video games you can buy to do that. So Battlefield 1, I like the realistic Battlefield gameplay. I mean, it is a game. These are games. Don't be like, oh my god, Battlefield 1 isn't realistic at all. I'm just saying it's a lot more realistic than the futuristic Call of Duties where you're jumping around in exosuits and shit like that. I like the realistic feel of the Battlefield gameplay, the chaos, the sounds, the feeling you get when you get great kill streaks. And when it comes to survival games, I like the feeling of just that winning feeling. Your strategy worked out the best. Maybe some of it was luck, but most of it was skill and the way you planned out your attack, to hide, to kill the enemies, to sneak up on them, to take them on head on at times. It's just the best feeling in the world when you get that winner chicken dinner, the game is over, and you have survived, and then you do it all over again and you rage when it doesn't work out the exact same way in the next game, because every game is different, every enemy is different, every strategy you use to kill the enemy is based not only on your skill but on their skill, whether or not they've seen you, if they can hear you. It's really cool because it feels like real life. The way I play that game is the way I would do it in real life if I was put into a situation like that. I would play as cautiously, as careful, and use the best strategy to kill other people and move towards the finish line. Not that I want to kill other people in real life, but if I ever was in a situation where where people were trying to kill me, I would definitely try and defend myself to win. I'm not a psychopath. I do not want to kill people in real life, only in video games. Thank you. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you on the next stream or the next video. If you like this content but aren't subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead and hit that like button. Thank you very much once again, and I'll see you guys later.